Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Fresh out of a breakup and feeling numb. Hi everyone. I decided to join Reddit after my almost 2-year-long relationship ended yesterday. It feels rough because I wasn't expecting it, not after all the work I put into being a better partner. My ex yo-yos between breaking up and then desperately telling me how much she loves me and wants us to work out yesterday. Just to give her some time because she's uncertain and needs to figure out how she has been failing our relationship. I won't claim to be perfect, I made my fair share of mistakes in the past. However, not only did I take ownership but I moved heaven and earth to be better. So, at this point, I feel defeated and gutted as a person because at my best, I was told that it's not enough. I informed my ex that I will leave the door open for us but I need time away to also work on myself. And to only contact me if she knows with certainty that I'm the guy she wants to be with. And then I left. But I feel so numb and zoned out. Like a zombie. There are moments when I break down but right now, I feel completely numb and lost without any idea of how to handle or deal with this. I had planned to propose to her within the next few months. I had a date picked out too. I feel like my life has been turned upside down. Any advice on how to care for myself appropriately during this time? Thank you so much. It's your life of course and you run the show, but as a random man on the internet I want you to be happy and to succeed. I personally think you shouldn't marry this woman, from the information I know. This isn't someone you want to be married to, have kids with, joint ownerships with. Out of the blue she can do something like this. Yes, every relationship will have its up and downs, but what she's doing is a red flag. Not only do I think you could do better, I know you deserve better. Focus on yourself, financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, etc. Set goals for yourself. I wanna visit X, I wanna attend X, etc. Work out, get in shape if you aren't. Not saying become a bodybuilder, but maybe walk around your area for 30 minutes or lift for 30 to 45 minutes. Distance yourself from sad stuff, movies, music, books, etc. Don't feel ashamed to lean on your friends, they're your friends for a reason. Go out with them, socialize, plan a boys' trip. Find/try new hobbies, golfing, fishing, traveling, building stuff like cars. There's so much more to life, I promise you. This may seem like it's the end or it only gets worse from here on out, but I promise you it's not. Hey man. I have to say, after reading your reply, I actually sat down with my family and opened up. I even shared what you said and we realized something. I stopped living for me. I became a product of my relationship and this seems to be an ongoing issue that leads me back to this very point in my life. Going forward, I've made a commitment that no matter how bad and depressed in the coming weeks, I will not allow myself to go pursue my ex or anyone for that matter. I'll experience everything I feel with the main goal of getting to a point in my life where I live for me. I put my personal goals and life on hold to become just a partner to a relationship. So perhaps, in doing that, I failed myself as an individual and my relationship itself. Either way, I'll use this entire breakup as a catalyst for change. I won't make the mistakes I did in the past by jumping into rebound relationships and believing that I need to be in a relationship before I can happily pursue life. I'm guessing that the next few weeks are going to be a complete roller coaster ride for me, but I'll just return here to read your reply and this as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to share all that advice with me. I can't begin to tell you how appreciative I am of that. Hope everything's been good, brother, heart. Walking away after being cheated on. Hi everyone. I've recently been through a breakup caused by infidelity. I discovered this on our anniversary, the time at which I had planned on actually popping the question. It hasn't been more than a week and I've really been spiraling emotionally. Was madly in love with my ex, and as much as I want to be with her, I realized that I'd spend my life feeling suspicious and insecure, unable to give her nor myself the love we deserve. And so, I walked away, but not without giving her my forgiveness. I'm not excusing her behavior, but I know she's been through a lot of trauma in her life. And I know I'm the kind of person who can never truly heal if I hold on to a grudge. My only hope for her is that she uses this experience to grow as a person and deal with her issues. But, I don't know how to deal with this healthily. Can you please give me some advice? I've been through breakups in the past, but nothing like this. Each time I've struggled and did everything one ought not to when trying to move on. I don't care how hard it will be, as long as I can heal and rebuild myself, I'll do it. Is something wrong with me for caring about her? Post-separation. I've recently parted ways with my partner of 2 years. We were set to be married and I had plans of popping the question on our anniversary, which just passed. However, I found out she was cheating on me. The way in which I found out is something you would imagine only happens in a movie. It was that traumatic. Still, I chose to leave with love and forgiveness. During these few weeks, as much as I'm completely certain that I cannot and won't return to that relationship, I feel bad thinking about the journey she has ahead of her. Instead of worrying about myself, I seem to be thinking about how she is going to manage to live with this regret and the consequences of her actions. Many months ago, she had come to me to confess that she was entertaining some advances from this guy. I chose to forgive her and move past it because I had somewhat of a similar experience myself over text way back. I figured that this showed a great deal of maturity, remorse and respect. What I never expected was that this event would lead to a full-on emotional and limited, physical, cheating from her. Even though she didn't sleep with him, it's the months of lies, betrayal, manipulation and gaslighting that has left me completely shocked and unable to be with her. But here I am, worried about her and the suffering she may be going through. Do I really lack this much self-respect or self-worth to be feeling bad for someone who did this to me? Uncertain whether I should give my ex a chance. Reconciliation. Hey everyone. I'm interested in hearing some opinions. My partner of a few years and I broke up recently. We had plans of getting married and I was set to propose. Here's what happened. She had a guy friend who had a clear interest in her. I had asked her to distance herself from him when she came to me to say that she had been entertaining his text advances and felt guilty. I gave her a chance under this condition. We were in a long-distance relationship and would see each other once a month for about a week at a time. She went along with it until he wormed his way back. The unfortunate part is that he was not just friends with her but her entire family. He knew of me and had been trying to set me up by using fake female profiles to see if I'd text back so he could use this as ammunition to break us up. It never worked because I wouldn't engage. I only found this out post-breakup. She kept this from me. His family is very well off and so he would do all sorts of gifting and favors for her family and her. Fast forward a few months, he makes a move on her, kisses her and she kisses back. It was a single kiss and thereafter she felt guilty and informed him that she loves me and made a mistake. He reveals that they've been in contact the whole time to me very shortly after. Not to do me a favor because he's just a scumbag. He hoped that by getting me out of the picture she'd be his. That's not what happened. She's been desperately trying to win me back, but the truth is that she didn't confess to me in those weeks since it happened, lied to me about continuing the friendship with him as well as made me feel like I was being insecure when I'd suspect she was still in communication with him. She absolutely made some questionable character choices. Since then, I've gotten as much information from her about stuff. I actually didn't know they had kissed. She confessed that part to me. Up until then, she says she had been towing the line and got carried away by the constant attention from him. My question is this: do I cut my losses or do I give this person the opportunity to prove herself? I'm too emotionally invested to be objective about this, and I constantly battle between the two options since I ended the relationship. Apart from this, she had quite a bit of traits that I liked and was extremely proactive in the relationship for the most part. But, she cheated in this way. And I'm having a hard time deciding whether this is someone who immaturely made a bad series of decisions or if she lacks loyalty and integrity. Update: I'd like to thank everyone who replied. It gives me a lot to think about. I feel like I came on here desperately looking for some loophole to allow myself to give her another chance. But I thought about how much agony I'm in right now, and that should never be how one feels about love or a relationship. So, I've decided I'm going to stick with the breakup and take time away completely from her to heal and move on. Thanks again, everyone. I'm starting to forgive her, but at a cost. Advice. I've posted about my breakup that occurred about 5 weeks ago. I discovered my partner cheated on me with a guy she assured me was just a friend and no longer in her life. I learned of this just before proposing. It has been a traumatic experience that I will never forget. Since then, my ex has tried constantly to win me back. For a while, I debated whether I should try again or not. Then I reached the conclusion that I won't reconcile now and need to work on processing what happened. I thought that if I could just forgive her, I'd be able to work on the relationship again. I've started to actually forgive her now. We've had many open conversations about everything as well. But, instead of wanting to reconcile, the opposite has occurred since I've started to forgive her. I have lost most of my desire, if not all, to reconcile. I'm not sure whether to celebrate this or be sad about this. I just wanted to reach out and find out what advice or thoughts I could get from others who went through this. I feel both relieved yet disappointed because I really hoped that I would be able to try again if I could forgive her. I wasn't expecting this. When you're afraid of not finding love again, I've recently been through a traumatic breakup after discovering the woman I was set to marry had cheated on me. I was in love with her, and for a time, I asked myself the same question I find that many people ask themselves after a breakup: will I ever find someone I would love as much as I loved my ex? I stumbled across something that challenged this thought and has provided me great comfort. We don't love people because of how special they are. In actuality, they are so special to us because we love them. In other words, the love we feel for them is ours, they just came into our lives and awakened it. So, in the future, when that love is receptive and ready to be awakened again, it will resurface and you will experience blissful love with someone else. I hope this helps anyone going through the motions of a breakup who needs some hope. Smile. Can I get some advice on healthily moving on? I've been through a serious breakup just under 2 months ago after discovering my partner cheated on me. I was planning to propose back then and we had plans to be married by mid-next year. I made the decision to move on and I'm happy with my choice. Too much damage has been done and I feel strongly about finding someone with the same morals and values as me. The problem I've had in my life is an inability to stay single. I've always been pursuing relationships, to the point where it became my identity almost. I think this is what adds to the codependency that results from these relationships. I'm in my late 20s and I feel like I need to actually learn from my mistakes now and make some long-lasting changes. I agreed that I would spend a significant amount of time working on myself, and yet I found myself online these last 2 days trying to connect with new women. It feels like I'm falling into old ways and the fear of being alone and not meeting someone great influences my actions again. I'd honestly appreciate any advice on how to navigate myself during this time to actually become comfortable with being single, making peace with the past and finding happiness in life itself and not relationships. Any do's or don'ts will be greatly appreciated. 2 months after D-Day and I still feel so betrayed. Is this normal? Advice. I understand that getting over a 2-year relationship in 2 months is unreasonable. I had spoken to my ex who cheated on me a few times over the last month. She wears me down at times. I could tell that she genuinely regrets what she's done and is remorseful. Her goal has been to try and support me as I heal. But, I decided to end contact a few days ago because I realized just staying in touch was too painful. It felt like torture because I'd go through all these conflicting emotions. I do feel more at ease now knowing that I can focus only on myself and recovering. But, at the same time, I still find myself having all the mind movies. I also feel incredibly sad all the time that someone I cared about so much stabbed me in the back to this degree. I've never been good at dealing with past trauma. Stuff that happened in my childhood affects me till today. Thus, my anxious attachment style and ability to attract codependent partners. My goal is to work through all this and set myself free in a way. I want to reset and feel at peace before I even think about moving on. But is it normal to feel like I can't stomach the idea of being vulnerable again with someone? Like, I feel so violated by the betrayal that I'm struggling daily. Any advice would be greatly appreciated on how to deal with my trauma. Lessons learned from my last relationship that ended due to infidelity. Advice. It's been about 3 months or so since my relationship ended after catching my partner cheating on me. Safe to say, it was a shit show. I was traumatized by the way it happened and felt like most of my relationship was a lie. I've learned many valuable lessons that I hope might be helpful to someone else. Trust your gut, always. Don't ignore red flags, especially when the people closest to you recognize these flags in your partner. Measure your partner's words against their actions. Don't make excuses for them in your own mind. If you're dating an unhappy person, don't make it your mission to make them happy. Don't try to fix someone else and don't date someone who could potentially be what you want. They either are or they aren't. Don't feel loneliness. It's not nearly as painful as what you may experience from dating or marrying the wrong person for you. Stand up for yourself when you are being disrespected or gaslit. Don't ignore a partner's history of low integrity or poor moral decisions unless they have recognized their flaws and made an effort to resolve them. The most important lesson I learned is to prioritize my own happiness and well-being. There's nothing wrong with being selfish about the quality of people you allow into your life and the standard of relationships you are willing to entertain. I believe that life happens for you, not to you. And so, even though I still experience pain from what happened, it has actually propelled me towards facing my own inadequacies and demons. On a side note, since investing a lot of time into self-development over the last few months, I had to completely cut ties with my cheating ex. At one point, I considered reconciliation, but as time passed, I realized the magnitude of her cheating. She would have told hundreds, if not 1,000 lies to me over the last few months of our relationship while she betrayed me. I also suspected it and confronted her on many occasions, and I was met with gaslighting and manipulation. I'm not trying to discourage anyone who is trying to reconcile. I respect you and took motivation from you. But, after seeing the true person my ex is, flaws and all, I can't imagine a narrative where I would ever allow someone like that to have a place in my life, even with the love I have for the person I thought she was. The relief I feel from closing the chapter has been something I have desperately searched for. It's not easy, but it feels right for me. I hope to develop a deeper relationship with myself until I am truly happy and full of self-love. Perhaps then, I'll consider a new relationship. I hope this was helpful. If you're going through something like this, I send my well wishes to you. An update that has upset me today. Update. Hey everyone. I feel kinda shitty for having to even post this because I was in such a great headspace since cutting my ex off. However, this morning I woke up to a text from my ex that actually opened some of my wounds. Just for some context, we were together for 2 years and about to be married. I found out in a horrific way that she cheated on me with her neighbor who she claimed was just a friend and she had absolutely zero interest in. She didn't confess, I caught her. In fact, she told me hundreds of lies this year related to her friendship that turned into an affair. I've mentioned that she and I were in contact post D-Day. I was on the fence about completely splitting or reconciling. She mentioned some guy she was friends with, let's call him Bob, from college had started texting her during the last 2 months and he's interested in her but she isn't. I didn't think anything of it because I know we were split up and I believed her when she said she wasn't interested in him or dating anyone at all. She just wanted me back and can't imagine herself with anyone else. A week ago when I closed the doors for reconciliation, I had asked her earlier that day about moving on and she tells me that she has no interest in that and wants to be by herself. I told her it's okay and I hope she meets someone lovely in the future and she's happy. We parted ways in a good enough way and that was that. She reaches out to me today and talks about how sad, lonely and upset she is. How much she misses me. That she went out Bob this weekend and 4 of his other friends to a themed park because he invited her and she just missed me a lot. This really upset me and made me hurt. Please tell me if I'm being unfair and irrational in my thinking, but is this not exactly what she did in our relationship? Why even mention this guy and assure me you have no interest in him only to accept an invitation days later? In her mind, she thought maybe I'd hear this and think how much she must miss me to be with another guy, but I took this as almost another form of betrayal. Am I being irrational or immature feeling this way? What's the need to tell me X when she feels Y? Why go create a situation that looks so much like what she did in our relationship that led to the demise of it? This is a prime example for why no contact is the only way to really let go of her. She knows that your feelings aren't completely gone yet and wants to use that. She told you first about Bob to check your reaction and to use this opportunity to tell you that she only wants you. But that didn't work out. So now she is telling you that she met with him to show you that she is moving on. She hopes that you are afraid of her moving on and quickly jump in to take her back. But you won't. Instead, her text only had the effect that you getting thrown back 2 steps after you made so many steps forward. Next time she tells you something, it will probably be about a guy she had seen / went on a date with / had sex with and how she only thought about you all the time. Do you want to wait until she texts you that? She can do what she wants with who she wants. You made it clear that there will be no reconciliation, you are done with her. Now finish what you started and finally cut her out of your life completely. You're absolutely right. At this point, it might be time for me to change my number. It's just shocking to me how someone can ruin everything, spend 3 months claiming to have been working on herself only to repeat the exact same things that led to the end of our relationship in the first place. The ironic thing was I woke up today feeling nostalgic and thinking of her fondly. Lol, life is wild. It seems that this is just how she is and 3 months are not even close to enough time to work on herself, if she is even doing that and not just telling you so. No need to change your number. Just block her number and all of her social media. That usually does the trick. It will get better, though it will take some time. But you can get faster to a better place if you have no more contact with her. May I ask, why you wanted to stay in contact with her in the first place? You think of her fondly because she's not the cause of your problems anymore, that's all. It's not shocking that a classic home wrecker is trying to get your attention again so she can ghost you, shame or control you, later. It's exactly what you should accept. This. Why aren't you not totally North Carolina with this toxic woman? Block her on everything and move on with your life. She's common. She's stopping Bob now. I'm going to fix that today. I don't want to undo all my progress. Life has been good to me as of late. It seems pointless to backstep and undo all my hard work.